Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's Uncensored match build-up showtime. Liverpool kick off the Asia Cup with a game against Crystal Palace. Ooh, exotic. We're flying all the way over to Hong Kong to play Crystal Palace because we love playing Crystal Palace. They're great. They're very good at beating us anyway. Chris, I think kind of what I'm kind of getting towards here is, and I think we've seen this in pre-season last year and we're starting to see it take shape this year as well. It's a tougher test.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone from Conference, League One, and now, again, tough Premier League opposition. And whilst the Asia Cup doesn't look like Liverpool are I know Leicester are recent Premier League champions, more recently than Liverpool. Liverpool are the glamour team in that competition, but it's an opportunity for Liverpool to go up against the kind of teams that, let's be honest, have given Liverpool some real problems in recent years.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't read too much into it again, you know, we've said each pre-season game, but you're right, it's a step up in opposition. It's some players that have done very well against us and teams that have done well against us in recent years. Crystal Palace is as much of a bogey team over the last few years as anybody else. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they play under Frank de Boer as well. I think, you know, he was at Ajax for a few years, went to Inter Milan last season.
Worth a treat.
Yeah, didn't work out. He's ended up at Crystal Palace now. Following on from Sam Allardyce, I mean, I'm not 100% on how Ajax played and Inter, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the same way that Sam Allardyce's teams did.
If you had to go out on a limb, yeah.
So I think they might struggle this season. They might be in a bit of a transition period whereby, you know, they are massively changing the style of football that they're going to be playing and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, completely. What do you reckon then, Ross? Is this there's two games in 3 days or whatever. Again, it's a completely different type of test than it's a similar type of thing to what we faced with the Wigan and Tranmere and Wigan games, but again at a higher level with travel involved, different kind of physical conditions as well. Would you go with the similar approach of 245 minute teams?
I might think you might step it up. You know, they stepped up opposition up and maybe give people 60 minutes instead, and then they've got a couple of days rest, and then maybe do another game, particularly for first team players. I think it's important for them to kind of build up that thing. I know it's, like you said, the travel, humidity over there is going to be a pain in the arse, but I think people are going to have to prove themselves. I think they have a better chance of doing that in 60 minutes than 45.
Do we know the rules? Are they allowed to?
What do you mean?
Are they allowed to, or is there only like 7 substitutes for this game? Because it is, I mean, I'm looking at your face.
When you
thinking,
say, do we know the rules?
Well, do you know the rules? You've said we can do two.
The only rules that I am aware of is, and Jurgen Klopp made mention of it, was this whole 25-man squad thing, which he said poses a problem. Now, if people know, please do let us know actually in the comments, because that's a really good way. We won't be able to impact the show in any way, shape or form. But yeah, it would be interesting to see that. I genuinely don't know. The feeling I got from Klopp is that he just talked about how difficult it is, because he said you take 3 goalkeepers and that means you've only got 22 players, only 22 players, but that's 2 11s, isn't it? So you've still got a limited number of games in it, you know, a limited number of players for the amount of games you've got to play in a amount of days. I'm talking about the simple answers I don't know.
Yeah, we all got that.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say it's a free-for-all side. Are we better off picking a team for the one game and changing the team for the other game?
I think it depends how fit they've got in the last couple of games, because you always do with the first couple of games, the 2 half teams, don't you? Now, if they are starting to get a bit fitter, you'll be having a look at them as you get over in hot weather training, whatever. It's obvious that his first half team has been the most senior of both teams in the last couple of games. Yeah. So if they're fit enough, I think he'll want them to play as much football as possible.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I think this is the idea behind this, isn't it, Chris? Is that Liverpool, and you know, you did the fixtures show on the website the other week, and Liverpool, if they are to have a successful season, they're going to have to play 2 games of footy a week. This feels like this is the plan this pre-season. So I could see a case for both. I could see a case for us starting to get into the A team and the B team approach actually splits. So the A team plays the first game and the B team plays the second game. But equally, you know, again, we could just see the same approach, play a strong team in the first half of both games.
Yeah, I think when we're looking at these games, it's probably going to be much easier for the Asia side of the tour. I think when you start thinking about the Munich side of the Germans, or 2 games in 2 days, then I think there's going to have to be a clear split, isn't there? So maybe for now, it's a case of building those minutes up, get to 60, 65 minutes, because next week you're going to have to get to 90, and I think it's probably important that you do you don't go straight from 45 minutes to 90 minutes. So I think for these games, it's 60, 65 minutes, and then 90 minutes next week in Germany.
Yeah, it's interesting that you should mention Germany, Chris. Yeah. Segueing neatly. Chris and I, and Tom, everyone loves Tom. Nobody else weighed with me. But we're going over to Berlin before the Hertha Berlin game. We're doing a live show on the 28th, which is the Friday, which is the night before. Come down. It's in Magnet Bar in Berlin. Details will be in the video info underneath. They're not paying attention, but it will be. Possibly, unless we... Yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, turn up there, come watch us. It's 10 quid, which is a different amount in euros, although effectively equally the same, because that's how currency works. It's going to be an absolutely amazing night. So if you're over there, you've gone down the night before and you're looking for something to do, to fill your time prior to the game, come and join us. It's going to be, as I say, an absolute belter. Chris, hello. Which of the Liverpool players do you feel need the game time the most in these upcoming games?
Jordan Henderson, I think, is going to need some game time. You know, we've just done the final word on the redmentv.com, 45 minutes on the last friendly, and we talked about him being a little bit leggy and stuff. So I definitely feel that Jordan Henderson. I think if Nathaniel Klein's over the muscular strain, he's going to need some game time as well. Other than that, players that I'd like to see, unfortunately, Kirvey is not going to be there. I would have liked to have seen him, but I'm excited to see Solanke again. Over the 2 games. I really want to see how this front 5, front 6 is going to work, though. That's the biggest thing that I took out of the Wigan game, is that we talked about that fluidity that they had and how each of them were changing positions. And I want to see Salah. I want to see him score more goals. So for me, there's loads of different things that can be exciting in this game.
Am I right in thinking Emre Can's in the squad for this? He should be, shouldn't he? Tom, you had a look at the squad before. Did you look at them?
He's not in it.
He's not in it. Well, I think that makes it an interesting case as well, doesn't it? Because of the Gini Wijnaldum stuff. Maybe that's another reason why we saw him again playing in the DM role against Wigan, because, you know, I don't know whether it's a straight indication side that we're going to see more of him in that position, or it's just because we're a body light in that regard, because, you know, Naby Keita's not signed yet. Fingers crossed that happens soon. And with no Emre Can, they're the natural guys who would potentially play in those kind of positions. Yeah, and Wijnaldum might be struggling to find a place in that team if we sign Keita. Yeah. So it's a chance for him to prove himself in the deeper position as well. I think it's an exciting opportunity for him as well. You know, it's weird how we see, you know, he's progressive deeper and deeper in the team. He's basically followed the path of Steven Gerrard's career in a season and a half. Yeah. But I thought he handled himself really well, again, albeit against, you know, lesser lights of English. He's very good. Again, it's easy to look like a boss in the midfield if you're playing against League One opposition when you're a top level Premier League player. But yeah, he did play very well. I think it's interesting to see how well he does against a better midfield in Crystal Palace. I think he's got all the attributes to be able to do that position. You know, you can talk about the passing attributes. I don't think so. I think Lucas did really well from a heading point of view when he plays DM and stuff, and it's about making sure that the centre-back can help you out and stuff like that. I think he's got the range where he can get sideline to sideline very comfortably. You know, he's comfortable picking the ball up on the wing if he needs to. There's not many positions on the field where Wijnaldum picks the ball up and you think, oh, because he's just very good with the ball, isn't he? He understands the times when you need to be able to play a simple pass and stuff. And he's got that range of passing, which we've probably only really saw against Wigan. But, you know, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but Chan's still not signed that contract. We're looking to sign another centre midfielder. You know, are there problems behind the scenes? I'm not saying that there are, but there could be, and in a year's time we could have problems. So we've got to think about the future as well, don't we? Because I'm not sure Naby Keita is the defensive midfielder. If we do sign him, he could be one of the ones further up in the midfield, you know, box to box. Yeah. So, you know, Henderson's had his injury problems, Chan's got his contract stuff going out. It seems like it's a good idea to get Wijnaldum trained into that position to me. Yeah, absolutely. We just see what happens with the Chan stuff, because again, all the murmurings this weekend with that he's going to sign that, isn't he? And I guess he's probably still not. If he's not with the squad, he's probably still on holiday, isn't he? So maybe hopefully that'll get resolved. That tournament didn't end that long ago, did it? It was only a couple of weeks ago. So. I think he's only had like a week. I think there was photos of him on Instagram. He was away with a couple of
German lads on holiday doing a photo shoot.
That's an absolute belter of a laugh.
Yeah.
They know how to do all these, them Germans. Having gone to Arenal in Mallorca, it's just basically where young German lads go to tear it up. Not great when you've got young kids.
They'll all get the towels on the sunbed first thing.
You know oh no, you know what? It's a story for another day. I think what I'm really looking forward to in this one, Ross, is again we saw a glimpse of Salah and what he can do, and again just the whole when you're playing against Premier League opposition, what it allows you to do, and as ever we'll say, you can't draw completely solid conclusions on any of these things, but it does allow you to visualise things better because this is a team that Liverpool are going to have to play twice this season. Seeing someone like Salah coming up against them, and if he's able to tear the arse out of some Palace fullbacks, would make me feel loads more relaxed about how we're going to handle this thing, and that's an opportunity. That's what I think these two games represent as an opportunity, is for us to just put the fans' mind at ease a touch, maybe even get it into our own players' heads. Because if we can get, just as a psychological boost, if you can go and you can do these teams, you do walk into the season thinking, well, we know how to do this already.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence boost for us as much as it is for them. And I think that step up, I think all the players will go, they'll know it's a step up. And you know, talking about Bobby Firmino and the other show, like kind of taking the piss. Mm-hmm. And you kind of hope like you take it a bit more seriously this one, because he will probably be playing against Crystal Palace. Yeah. And then again with Salah, you know, if he can do a couple of left backs or right backs out of the game, then it's just good confidence going into the rest of the tournament. Yeah. And into pre-season. Yeah,
I think the best thing about the Salah thing, Chris, the big encouragement was from watching him at Wigan, we were able to replicate largely what we did last season with no Sadio Mane in the team. Yeah,
and you know, I spoke about this last week. Me, you and your dad were talking. Me and that I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what Liverpool we're going to see this season, but it makes sense for me to have the option of Coutinho on the left hand side, and then you can rotate Salah and Mane, because the one area of the season where we were dead shit was when we had no pace. Obviously, I'd like to see pace on both wings, but teams struggled against us with just one player with pace, and having Salah who's able to replicate that but in a different way just gives us more options. You know, talk about how many ways are to skin a cat. Liverpool have got more ways to beat teams with just having that extra pacey player who plays slightly differently, who's going to trouble a fullback in slightly different ways. We're quite naive, I think, as football fans, and I don't think we think about how players play the actual game as in fullbacks and stuff like that a lot. Like, is a fullback comfortable when a player comes inside? Is he more comfortable when he's playing on his strong foot and stuff like that? These are the type of things that football coaches will look at. You know, all right, one week it might be, well, this guy's not very good when someone cuts inside on him, so you drop Salah in against him. You know, and what's it like when the guy's trying to get round the right-hand side? These are all options that Klopp will have now, and he'll be able to pick and choose when he wants to use his weapons and how best to use them. Yeah. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, very, very exciting times, absolutely. So I just need to mention, of course, that we touched upon the Final Word show a couple of times. We've done that for Wigan. We'll be doing one for this game as well, the redmentv.com. So if you always want more analysis, basically these style shows, but 45 minutes, 60 minutes, covering all things Liverpool Football Club, go to the redmentv.com/join, completely free for the first month, and it's just £2 a month. And as I've said, over the summer, if you enjoy the free stuff on YouTube, that exists because of the people who support the show by going on the website. So if you want to support the Redmen TV going through into this season, do go and subscribe. It means the world to us.
And obviously all the better shows are behind the paywall.
Gents, thanks very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to this game. You'll be at YouTube learning about live streaming. Me and Si will be watching, and Ross will be chilling out, feet up, watching footy on an afternoon. Very pleasant indeed. Check back post-match with post-match content, of course, for the Final Word show on the website, and for the Reds transfer round of this show this week, talking about the latest on Keita, the latest on Virgil van Dijk, of course, again.
Robertson as well.
Robertson, ooh, now we weren't going to mention him. Going to have to now. Lucas Leiber et al. Again, the redmentv.com. Sign up and we'll see you there.